Hey guys, Mr. Tweet here. So in this video, I'm going to go over double shifts. And what I want to do first is I want to show you what happens when we put both shifts on the same graph, because you can do that. And in fact, many teachers actually teach them, they have you do both on the same graph, right? But I want to kind of show you something first, all right? So for this example right here, I've got a decrease in demand and a decrease in supply. So notice that my supply is shifting left, my demand is shifting left, and it looks like my price is going up a little bit, and it looks like my quantity is going down, right? So that's that. Now, let me show you another, right? This is, again, a double shift. Again, supply is decreasing, demand is decreasing, price is a little bit lower than equilibrium, and quantity is a lot less. So notice that this is the exact same set of shifts. Decrease in demand, decrease in supply, but on one of them, it looks like the price is going up, and on the other one, it looks like price is going down. That's why we say it's indeterminate, because it depends which shift you draw bigger. Now, if you draw the shifts the exact same size, it'll look like that it evens out and that it didn't change at all. But that's not necessarily the case either, because in the real world, maybe one of the shifts is bigger. We don't know. So that's why we say price would be indeterminate here, because if you draw it one way, price is going down. You draw it the other way, price is going up. So we say it's indeterminate. We cannot determine whether price is going up or down. Now look at quantity. Quantity is going way down on both of these. We know quantity is going down, right? And if we were to draw these two graphs out separately, we'd get when demand goes down, price and quantity go down. When supply goes down, price goes up, quantity goes down. So price is going up on one, price is going down on the other. We don't know. Supply is going down on both of them. We know supply is going to go down big time. So for these double shifts, right, when you have a double shift question, number one, make sure that you got two separate scenarios, that you don't have one scenario that you're trying to shift twice. That doesn't work. It's got to be two separate scenarios that are causing the double shift. And then you got to remember the rule that either price or quantity is going to be indeterminate. One of them is going to be unknown. Right? Now, we've only got four options here, right? Demand up, supply up, demand down, supply down, demand up, supply down, demand down, supply up. There's only four possible options here, and you can memorize those four if you want. I'm not a big fan of memorization. I'm a much bigger fan of understanding the logic behind how things work so that you can then recreate it. Because that's where I feel like real learning happens, and that this is something that becomes kind of useful and skills that you can kind of, it moves on to other things and so on and so forth. But if you wanted to, you could just memorize the four: demand and supply up, demand and supply down, demand up, supply down, demand down, supply up, right? You just memorize those four, and then what are the outcomes for those four? So anyways, that's the double shift. Right? Remember, you've got to have two different scenarios happening. And then you got to remember price or quantity is going to be indeterminate. And the way to figure that out is to do two separate graphs and figure out what matches and what doesn't match. So on this one, when we had demand down and we had supply going down, I could just really quickly sketch out supply and demand graph. Supply and demand graph. Put my equilibrium in there. Right, make one of them demand down, one of them supply down. So I've got my two graphs at equilibrium. For the demand down, decrease to the left, put my arrow to the left there, draw my line, label it, and find my new equilibrium, just like we practiced last week. Price is going down, quantity is going down when I decrease demand to the left. That's what we see, the movement we see on our axes. Supply going down, go to my supply curve, draw my arrow, decrease to the left, put my new supply curve in there, right? Looks like that. Find my new equilibrium. Label it P1, Q1, whatever you want, P2, Q2, whatever you want, and then figure out what's happening to price and quantity. Price is going up on this one, quantity is going down. And then once you've done your two separate graphs, then you just want to figure out what matches and what doesn't match. Quantities, they match, so quantity is going to go down. My prices don't match, so my price is going to be indeterminate. Quantities match, so quantity is going down. Prices don't match, so that's indeterminate. All right, so that's a double shift with supply and demand. It does pop up every once in a while on the macro test for multiple choice questions. Probably maybe one question, every other year. So maybe, on average, half a point on the AP test comes from double shifting questions, but you never know. So that's double shifts. Again, when you got a double shift, draw the two separate graphs, figure out what matches, that's what you know. Whatever doesn't match, that's what's indeterminate. That's how you do double shifts. All right. So there you go. That's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.